Connecting.
And I think we should be about live.
YouTube, I do not see anything. I don't see live on YouTube.
You don't. I see it.
Okay, I see is like the channel is streaming, but I don't actually see the actual live thing. Can you maybe send me the link?
Yeah, I'm sending a link on Telegram. Just hello everybody. We started 2 minutes early because, as always, just takes a little minute or two to set it up.
Okay, I have a link now. Nice. So Twitter, I suppose, is going to be live. So
Yes,
it's
it
live
is.
right here. Let me open the new tab. Let me share this here. Live mosaics. Let me share this here, and let me just repost this. Post this. Copy link address. Oh, Jesus fuck. Okay, cancel. Do you have the? Can you send me the link for
Yes.
BonkBot on Telegram?
I love being your assistant.
Thank you. Like YouTube and also this. How do you start? Copy link. Check Telegram quickly. So I'm posting a good link. I guess I am. I got a little bit of a confused by the fact there is no follow through on that.
Yeah,
It's just like
it
this.
works. No, it is.
Okay, so this is the link.
Yes, it's a shorted version.
Yeah, but for like a reposting on YouTube, it's
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a mess. Okay. Yes, the second week in a row we are so back. Let me just open one last thing, which is going to be both YouTube and Twitter chats. Okay, GM, you see runner screen. I see the chat. We didn't get disconnected in first 5 seconds, so this is a good sign of things that might be actually working. Okay. So I think we can get started.
See, 7
People will
p.m. on
join.
the
People
dot.
will.
So
Yeah, nice. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the musical chairs live streams. As always, for the next hour-ish, we are going to be talking about markets with Runner. We will talk about BTC, majors, some of the shitters as well. Before we do so, the streams are sponsored by now BonkBot. I have mentioned this in the last episode. The BonkBot, as of today, is just a Telegram trading bot for all the on-chain crime things and shenanigans, but they are going to be rolling the full uh, trading platform, which is going to be much more, similar to decentralized exchange, uh, which is something that the old people like us might actually start using because the familiar interface and everything. So if you want to keep in loop for that, make sure to use the link you find in description on YouTube, or I will just post the link in the chat on Twitter as well. Obviously, if you're going to use the link, you are going to support us. So we are forever grateful for that. And you are not going to be missing out on the launch of the new platform. And thank you, BonkBot, for sponsoring the content. So let's get to things. I see that Runner has BTC opened. We came back to streaming basically, what is this, 7 days ago? So it was on
Yes.
3rd. Yeah, we basically killed volatility as we often do with these streams, and price of BTC basically haven't done all that much. So I think that we don't need to spend that much time talking about it. Um, but for me, from my point of view, and I will kind of go through that quickly, then let Runner speak as well. Yeah, you see the range. We are in the middle of it. I posted this article over the weekend about my thoughts on BTC price action. The middle of the range is usually no place you want to be getting too involved unless you are, scalping, day trading, and doing all of that. But from any kind of higher time frame point of view, this is really a 50-50 chance to go either way. Therefore, I don't think that I do have much of an edge there. So I am really doing nothing when it comes to Bitcoin. We have a little bit of strength today. Um, Obviously, I think the markets are very much influenced with what Trump is going to say next. Uh, Basically, the last week we kicked off the new week with the tariff fears on the Canada and Mexico that kind of retaliated a little bit. Things looked pretty promising. We had NFP on Friday, then Trump dropped the another tariff bomb, this time on Japan and European Union. He said that there are going to be more information coming today and tomorrow. I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't have any time to look at much today, so I don't know if anything came out today yet about the tariffs in Europe. Um, but I think a lot of the BTC price action so far, if you are going to look at S&P today as well, we kind of gapped down a little bit, rallied from there. So markets are kind of very undecisive if you are going to look at the
Yeah,
the
yeah. I put it in real time. We
the
just
S&P
stream just as
chart.
delays.
Yeah. If you're going to look at the S&P chart, it's basically the same mess as Bitcoin is right now, very kind of a sideways-ish middle of the range. People generally don't know what to do. So a lot of this kind of uncertain price action, I think this kind of debunks a lot of the stupid stakes that people had on tariffs and how it's going to be beneficial for Bitcoin. At the end of the day, I think we are kind of back to be a correlation vehicle to the equity indices. Therefore, prices behaving that way at least, and people are just kind of don't know. We have CPI, which I believe is uh,
Wednesday.
yeah, we have CPI this week, so I'm expecting this to resolve some of it. Bring back some of the volatility. Until then, there's truly not much when it comes to Bitcoin. I wouldn't take any directional bets here. Especially what is kind of a sign of a little bit of weakness ish for me is that obviously we had this huge candle on third, this kind of a huge sell-off basically, which led like over the last weekend that got bought back up, but then we just grinded back down from it. Usually in bull markets, when we had these like big liquidity events, when people just got stopped out, liquidated, and all of that, markets tend to recover quite quickly. So far, BTC has been really struggling. Besides today, which is like a small update, but other than that, doesn't look that good to me. At the same time, I'm not really taking any bets here because this can easily go higher, go lower. I think I would, if we would get back above that kind of a last Monday candle, this huge buyback candle. Um, yeah, around that area, 102K basically. I would say that that would be pretty pretty good bet to just go for the highs again. If we start to break down, I'm going to be quite honest. I don't really have many of the support levels on the chart. The range low, that kind of a whole range which we basically formed since November 26th, or like end of November towards now, seems to be a little bit exhausted to me. So I don't think that I would be buying personally another like 90k move. Uh, yeah, probably not. Probably, like this has been tested a couple times. There were a couple opportunities to buy this. End of December, mid January was probably the best one to get involved. Even if you bought last Monday, basically you would still most likely would get out for some of the profits. If you bought anything sub 95k, you would have made some of the money. Yeah, do you have some of these moving averages as well? I think the white line that you have on the chart, I have no idea what that is, but
200
that
day
seems
moving
to be,
average.
yeah, 200-day moving
The
average.
boomer
I
favorite.
don't use, yeah, I don't use these in my trading, but these tend to be, especially if they were not tested for such a while,
Since
which this
October,
seems to be.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. Since October, I think this would be kind of a next sticky point, and also that kind of 85k support range low area would be probably the next logical step to see. But yeah, that's still that's still quite far from current price. What's that, like another 10% ish drop, something like that? Yeah, 10-12%. So yeah, BTC is going to be pretty straightforward. I know that I'm not sharing the screen today, but when it comes to the order books, when it comes to everything else, that I am looking at least personally, there were some selling in options, people heavily buying. Sorry, yeah, people heavily buying puts in options. I might show this on the next stream, um, which I believe led to this kind of a shorter term bounce today. People got really skewed on that side, but other than that, I don't really see any kind of decisive action from the spot markets. Obviously, we had a leverage flush. The open interest is, I believe, pretty low. If you just look at Velo on the
Hmm.
coin BTC chart,
Yeah.
I think the levels of the open interest are low as they have been since what is that, like September, even lower, like, yeah, like last summer basically. So the open interest got quite flushed out, but I just seems like just seems like we don't really see that kind of follow through. Seems like we don't see that much of a follow through so far on a price action, and that seems to me like a little bit of a switch in this kind of a whole trend structure, where basically, like I said, these liquidity events, these high volatility events, they were always in the bull market, quickly bought back up. This was kind of your chance to get in before the next highs. So far, we are we are struggling, and I think that the struggle comes from a lot of things at once. I don't want to sound overly kind of bearish or bullish, especially from like a fundamental point of view, because I think that me or neither runner, use that kind of a macro and fundamental analysis, and are probably not the best person to talk about it as well. But yeah, I think the first kind of the letdown with the strategic reserve, the fact that we basically, that kind of a seems like once Trump basically won, we had this huge rally. BTC did almost 100%. Market was kind of pricing everything in. Yeah, and then post inauguration, what else is there, kinda, especially since the strategic reserve did not get announced immediately, and also, now all of this mess with tariffs, which are just not great for the risk assets in overall, because they cause inflation and all of that. So yeah, my thoughts on Bitcoin. I'm definitely very kind of defensive at this point, usually, especially now since I swing trade, and I really trade high time frames and quite a few things. I think I took like two trades on BTC, or one trade I took on BTC this year. So I think for me at least it's going to be a little bit of a waiting game. If you are in lower time frames, I'm not sure if Bitcoin is probably the best thing you can trade, and I know that Rana prepared a little segment about these new launches that has been kind of a uh, that has been taking some mind share, and I do believe that these are going to be the better markets to trade for you than just sticking with Bitcoin right now. So if I don't know, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to mention when it comes to BTC?
Yeah, a few things. Fully agree with you. A bit of middle of nowhere. Trump, as much as our community wanted him so much in the office, um, it's arguable, right? Because BTC, since he won the election, is still up. It went from 67 to 110. So I don't think we are in a position to be crying or complaining whatsoever. Obviously, everybody's holding shitcoins, but that's a different story. BTC in range. Bit of nothing burger. You were talking about last Monday, and we now know, and I wanted to talk about it because our favorite Craighead, and well now it's demonetized, but our favorite Craighead sailor has been buying again. And when you look at the execution, it's just it's basically the whole Monday. If we look at even like Coinbase Premium and just like the overall flow and price action, it was basically all sailor, and then also on Friday. So he managed to buy like $750 million worth of BTC last week, which he announces every Monday. Or every Monday when he is buying. Last week they actually took a break, arguably due to the blackout period. Don't think it matters that much, but point is he bought $740 million worth of Bitcoin last week at average of like 97.2. So he is at current price of BTC, he is at break even for the previous week. But why do I mention it? There's multiple things I think people should pay attention to, and I've been overly paying attention to maybe, but they announced the 21-21 plan, and that basically means they're going to buy $42 billion worth of Bitcoin over the span of like say next 3 years. But that's not a new announcement, right? It's an announcement from, let's say, half a year ago, and they already bought a good 20 billion, almost a 20 billion out of it. So from the ATM sales, and I know it's a bit of boring topic, so I'll cut it here, but Sailor keeps buying and he's slowly running out of money. So that's enough for Sailor. As for like macro or TradFi headlines, I fully agree with you. It's everything is around tariffs. It's a bit unfortunate because 3 weeks ago we were hit with, what was it 3 weeks ago? It was not DeepSeek, but 2
I
weeks
think
ago.
it was like DeepSeek, then week later it was tariffs.
Yeah. So like
Um,
each Friday and weekend we have a trauma, which in
yeah.
some ways makes me
What
not
is kind of interesting,
Mhm.
sorry, for just a point of like a deep seek and maybe point of like like a tech sector, if you actually look at Nvidia, uh, it's been recovering quite well. Like, I was kind of hoping that I will be able to long Nvidia a little bit lower, but it just seems to be like for the last week, basically, it's just up only, and it's up also quite a bit
Mm.
today as well. So kind of a interesting, because usually this kind of a tech sector gets hit the most, and one thing that I'm still actually sure and I've been sure for a while is Tesla, which also is kind of this Max 7 thing, which is not doing well at all. But Nvidia, and I think there was some more DeepSeek news that this whole kind of $6 million budget they had was a little bit of a fake, because they spent a bunch of money before and they actually use Nvidia for it. So this kind of a led to the recovery. I think the whole kind of DeepSeek news is kind of long gone at this point. Um, but yeah, the tariffs, I believe, are just the main kind of issue here, and the reason why market is just so undecided. And like we obviously I don't want to go too deep into the TradFi and all of it, but there are some tariffs on steel announced over the weekend. Gold is making basically all-time highs every kind of day at this point. Copper is also rallying incredibly strong because of the tariffs. So yeah, I think just like, and these are like in total, like gold, for example, these are just
That
markets that
gold
people
will
tend
go
to
to
buy.
3,000 sooner than Ethereum, to be honest.
Yeah. These are the markets that, besides that kind of a maybe rally because of the tariffs, the gold, for example, is something that people just tend to buy when there is not really this kind of a appetite for risk, as kind of a hedge. So yeah, we just, I think just when you look at like a market in like a more of a point of view, you just see that there is a lot of this kind of a uncertain moment when it comes to, if people really want to continue buying stonks and coins.
I know we probably don't want to spend too much time on gold chart, but bro, this weekly is insane.
Yeah,
That is
ETH could never.
like
Imagine, like,
crypto.
yeah,
What the fuck, man? It's actually insane, and this is not
yeah,
even like log. This is just parabola at this point. Well,
yeah,
either
yeah.
way, back
It
to
is.
the sad shit coins of crypto.
Peter Schiff was right. So
No, but I think it's
yeah,
important to to really not dismiss it, even though we're not here to be geopolitical analysts and international trade experts. But it's very simple. It takes one bad headline to shit the bed. So I think you should not be leveraging whatsoever, especially on like illiquid shitters. And just yeah, every day comes a headline, right? You would it's not only U.S. putting tariffs, right? It's also the other way around, right? So you would have China putting. I've seen that they've put on tariffs on U.S. cars, for example. Again, I don't know
yeah,
how
yeah.
relevant that trade route is, but point is,
No,
it's just
that's
like
that's like the thing is with tariffs is just like it goes both ways. It's just like if you put tariffs on the country, the most likely response you're gonna get is just the country is going to put the tariffs back basically. So it's just like no,
no
it's a
winner.
no, yeah, it's like a lose situations basically for everyone kind of thing. So
But it
um
goes both ways, right? When they actually, so we can finally move on from the boring tariff talk. But like, if they, both countries are like, hey, fuck this, this makes no sense. Let's sit down, let's negotiate. That we had that with the Mexico headline, and that was a big part of the bounce. I believe that was actually on the previous Monday.
yeah.
So
What's
yeah,
also kind of worth to mention, what is kind of worth to mention is that obviously we had this huge sales gap last weekend, with where basically all ETH holders got teleported into lower price bracket, and the S&P dropped gapped down basically quite a bit, which was tariffs on Mexico and Canada. On Friday into the close, Trump announced tariffs on the European Union and Japan. The gap and drop is not that significant as it was. I think, with every any type of news, is it's just going to get like progressively, market's just going to care less and react less and get things will just get priced in a little bit more. So yeah, I think even though the tariffs are not great, as if they are just going to continue for a long run, I think that there's going to be just a point where people will be like, yeah, sure, let's just trade these markets as kind of.
yeah, fair. Basically, what you're
Okay,
saying
so yeah,
becoming less and less relevant with each. It's like Elon Musk back at the day. Remember when he used to talk about Doge? And Doge would
yeah.
like 2x in a day and then full retrace, and then effectively it was 0.2% move, if that.
Yeah.
Same
So yeah,
thing.
TLDR on BTC, I think for me personally, if we start to break down lower, I would be pretty interested in that 85K region, I guess. Just like a much of a lower extreme of this current range, where I can clearly say that people are getting completely rinsed and there is a demand from spot and all of these things. If we push higher from here, I guess if we flip that 102K area, I think we might just go for the new highs at this point. But anything in between, I'm not really interested. I don't think I'm interested in shorting this here as well. It's just kind of like a really can go both ways. So boring.
No, but honestly, you see, we can kind of transition to the next topic, but I know you don't really sit that much on Twitter anymore. You're not necessarily farming Kaito yaps, unlike the other host. But Bitcoin has effectively done nothing for the last 3 months since it's actually we are higher than we are in November. Like, if you only look at BTC chart, we're completely fine. We're above the mid range. We're between the daily averages, like getting compressed. TradFi's at all time high. If you just look at these two things, you should think like everybody should be happy. But the timeline is absolutely suicidal. It's insane. Because
Yeah,
obviously altcoins, we're not gonna sit here and like laugh about Popcat chart and whatnot. Only on Twitter, not on streams. Uh, but yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Makes sense.
No position is
Uh,
also a position. That is kind of the point of
yeah.
this.
Someone mentioned Litecoin in YouTube chat. I'm looking at the chart. It looks better than both Sol and ETH at this point. So is
God damn it.
Litecoin is getting the
Holy
ETF,
shit.
right? Or yeah,
Yeah, I mean
it's
Litecoin.
either ETF or the CME futures listing, or
Both.
there were
Actually,
like
both.
oh,
Both.
okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, to be fair, Litecoin is looking pretty good. Like the
Yeah.
wig to the downside, like you can if you like look at the coins, and this is like once again very simple thing you can do. And if you just like open, let's say a little bit of a higher time frame, let's do like a 12-hour chart, kind of is nice chart for it. And if you look at BTC on 12-hour chart, if you look at ETH, if you look at Sol, and then if you look at Litecoin, you will see that the wick, that kind of a big liquidation candle, basically, which kind of rinsed everyone, over the Sunday. All of these majors, except Litecoin, is basically could not reclaim that candle yet. Like Solana is trading basically at it. BTC is trading also kind of at it. ETH is cursed. That's like way below.
I'm not even
Uh,
opening Ethereum chart this stream. Yeah.
but Litecoin is like way above it, kind of recovering already. So that's obviously, if you are into this like a relative strength thing, then I think the Litecoin looking pretty good. And obviously, if it's getting these ETFs, if it's getting these CME futures, yeah, it's I don't know, like, are boomers going to buy Litecoin, which did virtually nothing since 2017? Yeah, I don't know, but obviously, most likely rallying because of that. And I think the chart is looking pretty good. Obviously, the invalidation for this is quite wide because you have this huge wake, but as long as we are kind of holding this structure, this kind of a uh, range-ish, whatever, then I think Litecoin is looking actually pretty well.
Yeah, but obviously, I mean, chart is strong. It's very obviously due to the ETF only. It's actually interesting because when you look at some of the, everybody's just crying because of price action, but there's been a lot of actually interesting headlines from the Trump admin regarding crypto and regulation. Have you seen there is this like a digital assets committee thingy? I know that it has a different name, but it's like a new team being built. And if I'm not mistaken, there's Charles Hoskinson, like, and Brett Garlic House. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I saw
it's
some
going to be
emails.
interesting. It's like obviously crypto natives are like, I'm saying this and I'm laughing to myself a little bit, but hey, I mean they somehow made it to the cabinet or to the team. It's not
And I think
Vitalik.
that can be a decent narrative, and it's kind of funny to obviously see that these boomer coins, coins from fucking like like Cardano, Litecoin, XRP, they are from all the way back 2015, 16. And see these coins actually that everyone made fun of, especially during these like meme cycles and everything. But on like a larger scale, I think if US is going to be very pro crypto, um, in just like overall, and there were some of these news with like no taxing of the US companies, or US crypto companies or something like that. And like if all of these coins also get ETFs, like that I can very clearly see that as like a driver of the price, if those ETFs are going to do at least somehow little decent ish.
Yeah,
And I think like the landscape also is for it, because like the IBIT ETF or like the BTC ETF in general are done really well. I think that it was not sure if still, but like they were doing more volume than the GLD, which is the biggest ETF for gold. So I definitely can see that and I already can see that Twitter completely see thing, except like Donald, who is the biggest boomer coin advocate. But like I definitely can see this as like a narrative for all of these like older coins, that just like US is going to be supportive of the whole crypto landscape. All of these gonna get CME futures, all of these gonna get ETFs, and if the volume is gonna come to them, then I think the price is just gonna follow higher.
Yeah.
Someone
Not.
mentioned
Mhm.
Ondo in chat. Probably I haven't followed it at all, but I know that a lot of people are kind of inclining to this real world asset thing. Do you have something about it? Have you kind of kept track of it?
Yeah, it's relatively strong, but like look at the daily chart. That's total cancer. Like what are those wicks? Last 2 weeks or a month now. Sorry. But no, Ondo is very simple. RWA, it's the classic BlackRock sticker attached to it. They're launching like a RWA layer one chain, so like just add more buzzwords. And
Just another layer one. That's exactly what we need
yeah,
in
yeah.
our lives.
So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
so no, like look, it's relatively strong. But personally, I'm not saying somebody should be shorting this, but in general, with Ondo specifically, given it's a VC coin, like I know it just had a massive like 2x unlock. Like it literally circulating supply doubled, but it's still like 20% unlocked only or 30. Like eh, personally like I'm
Yeah.
not buying something like that where I'll get gangbanged by VCs just like the people got gangbanged on Beta Chain, but that's for a bit later in this stream.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's and at the end of the day, I still think that most of these coins are going to kind of follow BTC. So if Bitcoin decides to break down from the range, I don't really think that we will see that much of a strength. But but yeah, it's very mid-range-ish behavior we kind of talk about. I think for Solana as well, there's like not that much going on. We also kind of failed to find a follow through on that.
This
So
looks like Bitcoin from 2021 so much. It's insane. Solana chart daily.
yeah,
It's so sad that my brain remembered this. I think Sol is still in good shape, obviously, as somebody who is leaning, being bullish Sol. Uh, as much as some of these things might be good or bad, happening on chain, all the new metas are taking place on Sol still, and as long as that's the case, I think Sol is like as a layer one is a winner.
yeah, and it's also getting all of these CME futures, ETFs, and everything. So yeah, it's. I think definitely Sol should be like a. It's going to be the stable, but it's also very heavily correlated to BTC. I think the correlation between Solana, if you look at like all these kind of ranges that BTC has been in from March until the breakout, Solana was in a very similar range as well. So yeah, very tightly correlated to Bitcoin. Uh, but in the long run, I think it will always kind of get this advantage of all the on-chain stuff basically happening there
There
as
is
well.
there is
Okay.
there is though the like I laugh at it, but I think it's worth the mention because it's coming up. There's the FTX estate unlock, which is like 2.8% circulating supply unlock. But it's just so small, and a lot of it was just
Yeah.
there's a lot of big, like sophisticated players who hedge and shit. It's not like it's gonna be dumped by VCs straight, but I do believe that it could be suppressing the price a little bit, because people are like, oh, but the unlock and the whole like sentiment. But after the unlock, I don't see much stopping it. If obviously Bitcoin
Hmm.
does not shit the bed, which
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
big if.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, and you might have an idea like what could the next narrative be for BTC, because obviously now uh, like I don't want to sound too bearish, and obviously at the end of the day, if price decides to go higher, the price of the market is always the best narrative at the end of the day. So not like it needs one, but I think the kind of the landscape has been pretty uh, clear since like basically a year ago we launched uh, the ETF got launched in January last year. We kind of rallied on back of that, uh, since I believe that uh, I guess a lot of people expected it to be sell the news type of event. Then the ETFs actually got a quite a decent volume, so that was kind of a reason to rally into the highs in March. Then obviously we went sideways because nothing was happening. But then the Trump, uh, the elections and everything kind of fueled the second leg up. Um, I'm just wondering what is going to be now, kind of this next narrative. The only thing that I can think of would be this kind of a really big adoption in the US, and the policy being like very heavily favorable to crypto, which could lead other countries to kind of follow. Uh, but yeah, it's just like I genuinely am curious what might be next for
Mm.
BTC.
I've seen a lot of people mention QE, and it's bad when people are holding altcoins and their little hope for the pump is quantitative easing. Like, thing that people don't understand by definition, anyways. It's usually not good. But I have also counter argument is when ETFs launched. I have it on my chart. It's January 2024. We had a bit of sell off and like a bit of kind of nothingness, and people just basically gave up completely. That we're waiting for ETFs. We're such idiots. Nothing ever happens. But I've seen some people basically do this. So since the launch of ETFs until it started moving again, it was like 25 days, right? And I do remember that because we were trading that a bunch. We were thinking like, okay, fuck, that's it. It's over, GG. And then just the inflows picked up,
Yeah.
which is obviously very different because ETFs keep buying a lot of BTC every week, and our friendly aforementioned Michael Saylor keeps buying too. But we're what, like
It's kind of
18
funny.
days?
I was looking at the ETF flows. I can send you the link if you don't have it on a coin glass. It Since then, obviously the ETFs has been kind of this driver at the beginning, but right now it seems like, and it's been for a while, especially like in the previous range as well. Like usually when we have large amount of inflows or outflows in a day, you just log into Twitter. It's big outflows. It's so over. Big inflows. We are going to 200K immediately. Usually, it's a very nice kind of contrarian signal uh, to actually go to the opposite side. And this is actually something that I have been more of a actively looking at as well. When we have really these kind of big inflows, like right now, even January 21st, basically, and the January 21st, we had like a billion in the inflows, but um, and price just sold off from there. So it's kind of a um, interesting dynamic to see, and how it kind of changed.
Yeah, the whole ETF, it's a tough one. I don't have any saying that. It is. I try not to look at it this way because you might be like, oh, they're buying like a few billion every week, while price is going nowhere. But look, it's good. I think it's by definition good that there's demand for BTC. The whole Bitcoin stockpile thing clearly underwhelming. That's why price action acted as such. But Bitcoin is here to stay. I think it's still. I'm not gonna turn on my laser eyes just yet, but it's been the best trade all cycle period. Like it, you caught most of the upside, almost no downside. It was the best, and I believe it will stay the best performing asset.
Yeah. So
And
Runner is basically telling you to spot and chill. Uh, okay, let's talk about some of the altcoins. I think we spoke about majors. I saw that you were trading, or not only trading, but also being a main hater of Berachain in the last week. I completely skipped that. I not, don't really have much of a interest in that. So if you can kind of run me through, and I know you mentioned there are some new launches coming in as well.
oh
So
yeah.
there might be a trace.
Uh, so I mean, it's big part of the whole Murat meme coin super cycle thesis, right? Basically, you have these meme coins are, according to Murat, at least in some cases, like a more fair playing level. What is he saying? Like it's more fair for like average Joe, because then you have projects like Betachain, which I'm gonna pull up a chart, and holy shit, does this looks bad. But Betachain is yet another EVM chain, right? You don't have to be in the trenches necessarily to know this has been one of the most hyped and anticipated projects ever since I got in crypto, frankly. right? It's for many, many years. They
You
done
mean
multi.
the better buddies?
No, that's a different interest, but yes. No, that's the best part about Beta Chain, as somebody who been to conferences. Uh, Look, another chain that is, has been backed by VCs. If you look at all the previous rounds, all that information is public. Um, Project launches at like whatever 7 billion FDV, and goes down 70% in 3 days, basically, right? So there's multiple things to digest here. Yeah, 70% in 3 days. It's impressive performance, if you ask me. Basically, anybody like the average Joe who bought this token is underwater, which is just peak comedy. Obviously, this goes for every single listing, but the strategy here is like literally. I'm not gonna say the H word, but you go short instantly on the launch, because the VCs are still up. Like I know some people are correcting me that it's not the every round, but there's some VCs who got in 50 million FDV, and even now at $5.3, it is like 2.6 billion FDV. So they're still up 50x. Like, it's just fucking insane.
Yeah.
Truly fucking insane. So all these guys are up a bazillion x. Yes, sure, it's vested, it's locked, meaning they don't have the tokens yet. But what perpetual contracts? Maybe you're much better to speak about this with your experience with Breakout, but you can just go short, and that's what they've been doing, right? And selling as well. So it's just another sad chart of VC product, and I'm sorry, but it's truly sad. The best counter argument to this is Hyperliquid, which was a big airdrop, uh, which it's literally the only coin I think that went up last year. Or sorry, out of like, can any airdrop come to your mind that went up?
Yeah.
Well, and also what Hyperliquid does not have is any VCs, right? So I don't know. It's just sad. I think it's pretty unfair to the community. They farm the community. What I also fucking hate is they had testnet for many, like for a long time, and a lot of people were like using it, the early protocols and testnet, and they gave no airdrop to them. It's just, I don't know, if everything feels just wrong about it, and price action reflects such. And a bit of sneak peek, if you will, because we mentioned there's one more futuristic project launching this week. It's called Story Protocol, and I'm starting my research after this stream, but I'm fairly confident making a bet that it's going to be the same playbook. So the playbook is on 1 minute chart, it's going to spike, which you cannot buy because get fucked. It goes up for 10 minutes and then just fucking slow bleed for a week. That is my prediction for the next hyped launch called... Why I mention it? Because it's going to be most likely on most centralized exchanges. It's like a big project. If it's going to launch at like 10 billion FDV, I'm literally free short. That simple.
Yeah, and we still have these Binance listings. There was this test token which got launched. It's kind of a test on the BNB chain, ran a lot, but then
Hilarious, dude.
yeah, it just got killed. I don't know. This is like for me, and obviously I don't want to sound like a boomer European, hater, but yeah, these like for me a lot of this is just like draining so much liquidity and like a yeah, I don't know. It's a bit tough for me to and you see stuff like with the stuff with the Dave Portnoy,
Yeah,
these
I
last
have it
couple
here
of days,
ready.
and all of the
Jill's
all
Tool
of these
Sports.
things like this would be like if Bitcoin would be trending with like a very healthy price action and not being up 100% in last 4 months and everything, it would make the whole market much uh, more friendly. But right now, seeing all these things just kind of coming in, running to a couple hundred mil. Obviously, we mentioned this last time. There are money to be made if you get early, or if you are brave enough to short the listing, and if you trust your trading skills for that, and I think you should definitely do it. But at the same time, seeing stuff like this, it's tough when you are concerned, for the like a next leg up in a BTC at the same time.
But yeah, we said it last week. But there is so much money to be made playing these on both sides, long and then short. But I think if you have a position open in any of these and you go to sleep, you deserve to lose money. So it's kind of the trade-off you make, right? So you better hope it launches early in the morning, so you can before you go to sleep, you're out.
I
But
feel
yeah,
like all of these things are just launching like 3 a.m. my time.
yeah,
Like this is
yeah.
like some plot against the Europeans from the US, where like they launch all these like huge runners basically at like that middle of the night. Uh, but but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely money to be made there. I don't think that either of us, and we once the BonkBot app is live and we might trade some of these, but I wouldn't really go trade anything sub 100 mil, and especially share it on Twitter and talk about it. So, but yeah, if especially smaller accounts or even like bigger accounts, I think the liquidity in these is more than fine. You are there is definitely money to be made there as well. So um, we also have something that I wanted to talk about: the altcoins that are on life support now, and they are down 90%.
Everything
Um,
on Binance.
Everything, yeah, but also these like the coins that has been around for a while, like stuff like Popcat, Fartcoin. I was watching Shkreli running the Victor Labs being short like 50 different things. Um, I think there is definitely this kind of a possibility that these things are going to bounce, especially now. I think Fartcoin is actually up a little bit. Obviously, it's volatile as hell, so it's up 40% today, and the chart is still looking insanely bad. Uh, Bobcat is also, I think, bouncing a little bit from the lows. Uh, Once again, I think that this is not the worst trade you can take at the moment if you want to buy something. I think because there is this roller coaster chart that's kind of circling Twitter, where basically you have these
I'll
pop
draw it.
pick. Yeah, you just have these like circles, these loops, and every time the loop is just smaller and smaller, basically. Yeah, Fartcoin is like super popular. Yeah, basically this insanely ugly drawing. It's like the worst drawing that I saw.
Fuck you.
But yeah, basically this, and there is this kind of a thing where with every of these bounces, people always flood the timeline
Yeah.
thinking that's it. We are making new highs, we are breaking market structure, we are, this was it, this was the pullback, only this to get. And if you look at Popcat chart on like a like even on daily, you can basically see these loops kind of being drawn in a real time, daily 12-hour chart, basically all these like bounces getting just smaller and smaller. Um, but at the same time, this is still something that you can trade. If you keep kind of this healthy perspective on things, if you don't think that you are buying here and you are going to join Murat on his crusade and hold this to new all-time highs, but rather not being greedy.
Oh man, did you see the
uh
one post I shared?
uh I'm not sure. I
I'm
think I
I'm
have it
opening this on a
notified.
chart. I'm open this at the chart now. And
Yeah,
I sorry to put
yeah,
the guy on the spot, but
yeah. This
but
one with oh yeah, this one. Yeah. Basically, if you are not this person, and obviously I don't want to
yeah, sorry
throw
to shit.
unnecessary shade on anyone specifically, but yeah, maybe don't be this person. But at the same time, like there is a possibility that Peanut, which
Dude, watch it go to
uh,
a new all-time high, and I'll be the biggest moron in history of internet.
no, but like if Peanut is going to move back to 30 cents, which if you look at the daily time frame is basically like no move at all. This is
Like
it's just
I
like a
cannot
lower
be on daily. I
high.
cannot see 30 cents.
Yeah, like it will move basically 100% higher, and it will still look like insanely bad, and it'll still just spiral over. But at the same time, there are trades you can take. Like if you just keep your expectations healthy and you are not trying to be insane and hold to new all-time highs, there are trades to be taken. So something just worth to mention. I don't think this is the trade that I would personally take. I don't
Yeah,
think Runner
no peanut.
would probably rush to buy Peanut. Um,
I'd
but at the
rather
same time,
stick with Fartcoin.
I just don't want to, because like a lot of people, and I think we definitely have done it in the past, when you like open a chart of altcoin and go to weekly and like zoom out and see this kind of a no, like the depth of a chart, and just to make laugh of it. But at the end of the day, like if something is down 90% and you see some signs of strength, there is a trade to be made, and you will get 30 50%. You're just gonna get out and move on, basically. So,
Yeah,
and
just
I
not
think a lot of
falling
these
for the
coins
whole
are,
meme coin super cycle
yeah, and
thesis.
I think a lot of these coins are kind of coming into that point of a next lower high uh, at the moment. So something that I wanted to mention quickly.
So Adam, do you believe we talked about narrative for BTC? What about narrative for broader altcoin market? And I don't mean meme coins. I mean like even trash like ETH. Like,
To be
do you
fair,
do you
I
see
don't,
anything?
I don't, I don't keep up with the crimes that EAT Foundation is doing to the humankind. I don't really keep up with any fundamental things when it comes to altcoins, to be fair. So I don't really have my layer one pick. I saw this tweet last week that a bull market for layer ones is only starting right now, which was definitely an interesting take from the person I'm not going to name. But no, this is not really something that kind of interests me. I think one thing that we have seen in this cycle, although a lot of people would kind of not even call it cycle since they are down 90%, is the the attention span. And I think that this is like not only with like trading and crypto, but overall, like I feel like the attention span of people is just so short, and it's only getting shorter and shorter. So yeah, like I think the next narrative in the altcoins is once again going to be something most likely new. I'm sorry, but I don't really see that Peanut is going to get resurrected, and uh, not only price wise, but also you know yeah, I just have a hard time to like be on this kind of boat, that thinking that some of these super cycle Murat coins and all of this are going to be much like going to play like the role in the future. There are maybe some, but even those like the biggest cult meme coins like that SPX 6900, which was like this unbeaten community, basically. I think it's down quite a bit. Let me see. Yeah, that's still looking somewhat
Mm-hmm.
okay-ish. You probably need the on-chain,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ETH
I
chart.
have.
But yeah. This is like not that bad, right? Like this
Yeah,
still is
on log it's pretty sick still.
yeah. So definitely, like, if since I don't think there is any narrative right now, like we obviously ran through this AI agent, Indian customer support people commenting under everyone's posts, which was like insanely annoying thing. I hated this so much. Uh, but in general, I would just look at coins like something like this, which is like the SPX thing, which I don't really care about community. I don't really care about all of these things. I just look at the price and I see this is down a lot. Obviously, like this is down 65% from the highs, and it's insane thing to say, but this being down 65% from the highs since last month, it's actually not that bad, and
Compared
much
to
better than
peanut.
basically, yeah, compared to like a lot of these other things as well. So yeah, if I don't think there's much new now. Obviously, the I don't think, and no one can convince me. I always try to keep very open mind, but I think that this kind of a celebrity meta with Dave Portnoy and every other person, trying to become a face of a coin is never going to be a good idea. Even the ones that we had, that really tried, it's just all end up the same. Even the is Iggy Azalea, the mother coin, which held for a little bit and it's down well, it didn't even help that much. It's just down 96% basically from the highs. So yeah, I think these celebrity coins, which unfortunately seems to be now once again kind of catching up. It's not really the next thing. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't really, and to be fair, I'm not the biggest trench person, but at the same time, I still keep an eye on what's been going on, and I don't really see something that compelling. Something that, like for example, when there was this all AI meta, which I cannot say I enjoyed, and I thought it's a piece of shit and quite useless. But also at the same time, towards the end of the year, a bunch of these coins were, trading above 100 mil very comfortably, keeping this kind of a uptrend move, like the AI 16Z. I think the AI XBT was another one. Yeah, basically on these, like start of this year, end of the last year, basically when they were kind of making these lower highs, there were trades to be taken. And for me, these are the trades where I would, you know, go on chain and not try to snipe the new launch, but rather, look at things that are holding quite well, holding the trend structures, and, being this kind of a, having this, another, let's say, I don't know, like 100% leg up, where I just gonna get out and be happy with the 100% that I made, not looking for 10,000x or something like that. So yeah, but right now I don't really see that with many coins. To be fair at all, so it's hard to say what can be kind of next.
Yeah, maybe I'm naive and it's just me being lazy, but I still think whatever the next meta is, it's more likely to be on Solana than on Ethereum. But it's not very hard to beat Ethereum in almost any aspect. So, but yeah, we
Yeah,
keep
yeah, definitely.
rambling and repeating ourselves. BTC looks absolutely fine. Some of the majors look decent, namely boomer coins and coins with upcoming ETFs, very likely. AI agents, rest
I
in
definitely
peace.
think that can be the definitely a decent trade when it comes to these ETF launches. Especially after the Bitcoin one was surprisingly positive. We cannot say that about ETH ETF, but we don't talk about that. Uh, but yeah, if these new ETFs are going to get some traction, I think it can send these coins decently higher.
Sweet. Are there
Okay,
any
I think we
interesting
can.
questions?
Let me just check. Will you buy ETH at 0.02 BTC? Jesus, probably not. Which is going to be generational bottom. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that ETH BTC chart on like a monthly and weekly time frame had uh, I don't know. I to be fair, just I don't really trade this like a cross pair. I just trade the markets that I can see the signals in and everything. With the ETH having this huge wick right now, it's kind of tough for me to make any decisions. I would love then to see some sort of range develop maybe, but I don't know. I don't really care about ETH that at this point that much, and I don't even ask Randall what he thinks about ETH.
No, yeah. I mean, it's. I just hope these people find peace, because you can still move on. And I'm dead serious. Like, expecting this shit to come back is, I feel like there's people who I still see EOS bulls on Twitter. Do you know EOS?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Um,
I'm
yeah.
not comparing ETH to EOS necessarily, but um, it's just like, why would I waste? How much more in a bull run you want to waste holding underperformer when there's frankly a lot of money to be made? And you'll fucking hate yourself for it all bear market, because you made no money and you held fucking ETH out of all the garbage to hold. Like,
Yeah.
just good luck.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like for me, since I like a lot of the order flow stuff that I'm looking at on like higher time frames, and the edge in it comes from only from like coins where I know the flow is on centralized exchanges. That's why I have always a little bit of hard time trading this on-chain stuff, because I don't feel like that I have that much of an edge there, because I cannot look at the things that I'm looking at normally. I have been keeping track of ETH, because obviously ETH is the second most traded coin. Uh, all my good trades on ETH were shorts in the last a while. Um, yeah, I will probably still continue to look at ETH and kind of keep track of it, but yeah, definitely. Even if you would just trade Sol, and switch to Solana, which at this point is as liquid and as viable as ETH. So, but yeah, I can definitely see that we are going to shit talk ETH into the generational bottom sooner or later. I just hope that if this happens, I will get the sense to buy it as well. But at this point, I don't know. The candle, the huge wake sub 2K or like at 2K was pretty insane to me. How you know like crazy it was. And I think there is one thing with ETH which also screw it, especially for me with the things I'm looking at. It's the whole Athena thing,
Yeah.
where so much open interest, and I think that's one of the reasons why there was this huge wave. And I'm not going to go into that because I don't know how it works 100%. But I think that one thing that I've noticed, because for me, like, Bitcoin order flow, when it matters, is super clean. The Sol order flow, when it matters, it's super clean. I was longing Sol mid January. It was one of the very cleanest signals I could get from the things that I'm looking at. But ETH order flow for me has been more and more noisy. And I realized, or someone told me a while ago, that that there is it's most likely because the whole kind of situation with Athena, since they are such a large part of the order flow of the ETH. And for me, this kind of means that my edge is a little bit weaker. So yeah, I don't know.
So
Maybe things are gonna change.
are you indirectly thanking Athena Foundation for their best regards?
Yeah, for saving me. The ENA is also down quite a
Yeah.
bit, to be fair. I
Uh,
I I cannot say that
Christmas tree.
I 100% know how it works, but from my understanding, they kind of need bull market to continue uh, to do well, uh, which doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. So yeah, this was one of the very strong performers. What
It died when a
stuff?
pigeon disappeared from the timeline. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's, to be fair, if we're just going to look at the weekly chart, it's coming back to this kind of a 30-40 cent range where it consolidated before. All the fundamentals aside, I think that there is still effect when it comes to support and resistance and all of these things. So I just don't want to once again shit talk it and see the running for the next week. But yeah, this definitely kind of died and all of this
No,
stuff.
I hope it goes without saying that we're not saying you should be shorting something after minus 90% in a month. The exact
That's
opposite. The risk reward for a short, like the short has already played out, but basically buying something that's minus 90% because it can go up, I think it's like just blindly buying is a thing that went down minus 90% can go another minus 90%. Study Cosmos ecosystem.
yeah. The H bar, yeah. Someone mentioning H bar ETF. That's insane. I completely forget about it. It's like I have like no. I know that it has like an insane cult community, but that's kind of funny.
This looks
I think
exactly like XRP chart H bar.
yeah. What are the coins that are getting ETF? It's XRP, Sol,
Well,
Litecoin, H bar.
yeah. Slow down a little bit. I think the most likely and the most like out there is Litecoin actually, even above XRP. Then would be XRP, maybe H bar, and then Sol.
I see. I think, to be fair, I think XRP is probably going to do the best. It has like this big retail appeal. It always had this big retail appeal. If you think about who these ETFs are for as well, in the US, I think the XRP should do good. I don't know, like I don't know if Litecoin has like and it's up to date, but like I had no idea if Litecoin had like fan base still after all these years.
Well, James Safer, the ETF GCR, is going to speak on Spaces. Literally just now, I've seen the tweet. He's going to speak with official Litecoin Twitter accounts. I'm fucking lost, man.
Jesus. Well, yeah, interesting times.
Has bags probably. Yeah, Litecoin Foundation announced. We're thrilled to announce James Seyfert. He's gonna be joining them at Litecoin Summit in Las Vegas. Fuck me.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, if that's the narrative we're gonna get, like, if, like, if these things are going to do well, like, I think it's just gonna, it can very easily, get this retail adoption. Like, I think a lot of people uh, would probably prefer ETF from like a safety concerns and all of that. Um, okay, I think we have been live for an hour. We're
A lot
gonna
of
wrap
hating
things
today.
up. No, I think we kept it fairly optimistic-ish. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I really hope that for the next week we're gonna have some more way action and more volatility to the Altcoin. If BTC is trading now at 97.4k, so let's hope that that's not going to be exactly the same price
I
next
mean,
week.
just
Although
look at
I
the
am.
daily last 4 days. It is this diabolical work from whoever.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, thank you BonkBot for sponsoring our streams. If you want to support us, if you want to kind of keep in the loop for the new platform that BonkBot is launching, hopefully we are going to be able to show it on the streams as well soon. Make sure to use the link which is on YouTube in comments. It will be also posted in the Twitter chat right now, so you can just click it. Obviously, this is a Telegram, so no restrictions. And yeah, we will